as it, if it, things, once we get into the busy season again, if there's any support you need, just give a heads up and we'll figure it out.
Well, I appreciate it. The one day that I couldn't be here was the one, I think I called you in a panic when, because I was supposed to be here with the tax roll, but it ended up, the court was open and Susan kind of fielded people too, so,
Yeah. I think if we plan ahead, we can.
Right, yeah. I know it's really
plan
planned.
ahead, but.
Right,
Yeah.
well, I appreciate all of it, like I said, I really do, it's been a struggle, but unless there's questions.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Cliff has his report submitted.
No. He's
No
on
report.
vacation.
Okay, no
Yes.
report. Linda,
I've had issues with the DEC printer that prints my hunting licenses. I spent 2 hours on the phone one day, and I came in on a Friday and spent another hour on the phone with a guy trying to get the printer to work, and couldn't. They sent me a new printer. That still had a problem. I had to call because it wouldn't bring up what I needed to do on my end, so he had to hook into my computer and set it up for me through GEC. Now I'm running into a problem where the computer keeps shutting off on itself, by itself. It's the old computer that the bookkeeper had, and I'll turn the computer on, and it's supposed to stay on because there's updates that's doing it, that they do at nighttime and on the weekends, and the computer keeps shutting off on me, and I have to actually unplug it and plug it back in to get it to work. So I don't know what we're gonna do. This is my busy season for hunting licenses. I've already turned a lot of people away, and yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but there is a revenue there. So I don't know what we're gonna do about it. That's something the board's gonna have to decide if, I don't know if it's because there's so much data on it that's still on there from the bookkeeper, or it just needs to be.
Are we responsible to provide a computer for the DEC? Okay. Is there any minimal requirements for that? In
Not
other words,
really. I
memory,
mean,
RAM?
this is a Windows XP, and he had a hard time because they're not compatible with Windows XP.
Yeah.
DEC's not. They wanted a Windows 8 or something like
Okay.
that.
Oh.
So, or
Oh,
Windows
we have
10.
an outdated.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
they're
you
saying.
just need a new operating system.
I just need, I mean, if there's something that can be done to this one to upgrade it or something, I don't
they're
know.
like $300.
Well, probably more.
Well, if we don't need a monitor for.
No, we don't need a
I think
monitor.
this one is
or
a
anything.
pretty, Kelly had a decent computer that
Okay.
she gave to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It just needs a new operating system.
Do you know what the hard
So we'll
drive is
sell them
capable of?
No, I don't.
Well, one of my last jobs before I became a professor was a marketing director, and we had a database that needed to be cleaned, and nobody done it for years. And if you have all that old data on there, that could be partly what's jamming it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's some way we can take that off of there and just keep it, because it does have old budgets on it and AUDs and stuff like that on it too.
So when
we
we
adjourn
adjourn
Yeah,
tonight,
have you defragged it recently?
I don't wanna touch it because there's so much stuff on it
Yep.
that belongs to the town. I don't wanna be
Yep.
responsible for, hitting something and losing something.
Understand.
Understand.
so when we adjourn tonight, I will work with you to do the login for email
Mhm.
and also take a look at the basic,
The computer for the
computer,
DC. Okay.
what your storage is, what your operating system is, and I think that you probably just need a new operating system because the problem is just that you're not able to work with their software, right?
Well, no, this is through the internet that I work with.
Yeah.
But
and it
I
says it
mean,
needs-
but the computer itself keeps shutting off on me. That's what I'm saying. The computer's supposed to stay on all the time to update, but when after about a half an hour, if I don't, like tonight, I had somebody do a hunting license today. Tonight, somebody else come in for a hunting license, the computer wouldn't turn on. I had to unplug, shut it off, turn it back on manually, unplugging it. And it
Do you
will
have
be
any
off right now
antivirus
because
software?
it keeps shutting off on me.
Do you have any, do you have antivirus software on there?
Yep, I got ABG.
So then you should be, let's do it after
If,
the
if
meeting.
it's, if it's updating. I mean, the antivirus.
You mind if they're sending updates, then if
Well, yeah, but she's blocked from updates some of the time.
And that's all I got to report.
Okay, thank you. And are you reporting for the planning board?
I am.
Wonderful.
Just a slight correction, this Friday, we're having a public hearing. It's only for commercial and non-commercial wind turbines. We're not addressing solar until we finalize the process on wind turbines, because we actually have a resident who's interested in installing a non-commercial wind turbine, and as the existing, so we wanted to go with that first in order to make things easier for that resident. And the current laws of the wind turbine that the town adopted is ambiguous, and it only addresses wind turbines in general. It doesn't specify the difference between commercial and non-commercial. Thus, since the planning board does not supervise Mr. Doral, we asked the town board to ask him to put a stop work order on the residential wind turbine until we actually created a law to recommend to the board. So that the hearing that we have Friday at 7 o'clock, it will be the second draft of a law that we hope will, at that point, be finalized and sent to the board for recommendation for you to further whatever you want to do with it.
Have you been in touch with Greg Dunn about this?
We were in touch with him with the original
Okay.
issue to find out, and he was the one who agreed with us that this is ambiguous
Yeah.
and there needs to be, so we're not touching the law as it is now. We're identifying that as commercial. What we're constructing and will be presenting is amending that law to identify what our recommendation is for non-commercial or residential.
Okay.
But
So,
as far as I think he was invited, but I didn't hear if that schedule went through to him to come Friday.
yeah, just, so let's make sure to touch base with him about just the procedure of amending the law. I believe if you're holding the public hearing this Friday, and then come up with the recommendation to the board would still need to do a second public hearing.
Yes.
And that's okay with you?
Yeah, oh
Okay,
yeah.
great. All right.
We've been, at all of these workshops, we've been, working with, Amanda, Bearcroft from the county. And so she has also been helping us with that procedure. So we understand.
Okay,
We understand that that the board has to do, on any law, has to do a public hearing, and that's fine with us.
okay, good.
But we felt, as a workshop, we should just make it to the public.
Yeah,
Two subdivisions were approved at the last meeting, and at our next meeting on September 7th, we'll be having a public hearing for the Mattice site plan, which is required by the county because that situates on Highway 5, and anything that's on a county road has to then be referred to the county. So the county insists that there is a public hearing before it's referred to them. So we'll be conducting that public hearing and conducting the seeker, and if all goes well, then we will be referring that to the county.
have you appointed a chair?
No, we wanted to wait until we had a full body, so the acting, so our vice chair has been the acting chair,
And
Joe Fosarella.
Joe Fisher. Okay, I just have not been clear on who the main point of contact for us should be.
Yeah.
Should it be Joe?
It should be Joe. And finally, everybody who's currently on the board, including our alternate, has more than 4 hours of training. 4 hours is required for every year. So, and we turned the list in for Linda what the certifications are.
Okay.
So we're okay until January.
Great, great. I need to follow up with you. I don't have the information here, but folks in Fort Plain are putting on a training related to solar for multiple towns, and what they want is to have as many people come so that it'll be worthwhile for the DOS people to come out here. So I'll get those details.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because that's our next thing that we want to address after we finish with the wind turbine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it sounds like it would be a very customized training, but they need to know that they'll have a certain number of towns participating.
We have looked into a number of laws that surrounding towns have adopted. So we haven't been inactive on that. We've just been focused on the wind turbine.
Yeah, and I think this would be more than a training. It would would be more of a consulting
Yeah, that's great.
engagement. Yeah. Okay.
Can you post that on our website when we get the information?
I probably won't post it on the website because it's not a meeting for the public, but it's a meeting for the planning boards. But I'll let you know about it for sure.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So we need to review our board and committee applications. What have you got, Linda?
I have 3 of them. To whom it may concern, I am interested in the vacant position on the Town of Palatine Ethics Board. I am a retired dairy farmer and a semi-retired beef farmer who has been a resident of the Town of Palatine for over 60 years. I have always been interested in the Town of Palatine government and find that I now have the time to serve on a board. I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have. Thank you for your consideration. Regards, Paul Spencer.
Okay, just as a matter of process and as a matter of respect for applicants, going forward, as you receive these, if you would please disseminate them to the board members so that we can have them ahead of the meeting and make a decision rather than having to talk about individuals in front of the
Oh, I didn't know that you wanted them ahead of time. Supervisor Nicole, I'm requested to be considered to be appointed to the Ethics Committee. I feel with my background in law enforcement, I could investigate and interview any complaints brought before said committee and render a decision without prejudice or biased thoughts. Respectfully submitted, Paul Dahl. And
So you don't have to read all of these
Oh,
to us.
okay.
Why don't you go and make copies of them and make sure every board member has them.
I didn't know I was supposed to, I didn't know that I was supposed to open them ahead of time.